What everyone? Welcome to the Front Yard Fantasy live stream podcast. Thirsty Thursday throwdown. We are ready to go. There's a killer match on Thursday Night Football. The sun's shining. I don't know what else to be happy about, but I'm happy today. What about you guys?
I'm pretty happy.
I'm happy today, Simon. I'm feeling great today. I'm more excited for Thursday Night Football than I have been in a long time. When the Ravens weren't playing. Sorry, let me preface that. But no, it's gonna be an exciting game tonight. I'm super pumped for it. I know you guys are.
I'm so excited. I'm just nervous that with all this hype around it, that it's gonna end up like it's gonna be your typical Thursday night letdown where like you get one of these short weeks, teams come in, high hopes, and then the final score is like 13-6 or something like that.
Don't say that.
I said it
happening like every time that we make a prediction, it seems to be the opposite.
That's what I was saying.
I'm
saying this to jinx it the other way. Okay. I'm saying that out loud so that the juju goes towards making it a killer game. So for sure,
the Steelers aren't playing this game.
Yeah, we teased it earlier this week when we were going over our Monday Night Football selections for Prize Picks, which we did not do so hot on, but we're going to be making our Thursday night Prize Picks entries tonight. This is our weekday. These are our entries. I got a good feeling about this for us. I'll go ahead and pull that up.
Me too. I got a good feeling.
Here we go. Here's the board. There's some crazy lines on this one. So they agree with us that it's going to be a high scoring game. And I don't think it's just them. It's every sports book. It's every fantasy operator. It's pretty much universal.
Yeah, I mean, when you have the game you kind of had last time between these two, and then just take into account every other game these two teams have played, you kind of think it's going to be a high-scoring one.
When you look at the facts and the numbers.
Look at all the stuff that's involved.
And the players and the scores.
Don't forget the coaches and the fans.
The coaches, yeah.
Yeah, here we go. Yeah.
When you look at it all, it better be a good game.
It's gonna be a good game. Listen, with my personal life, I've been all about the you can't have high expectations, but because if you have high expectations, you're more likely to be let down. And
are you doing all right, Josh?
I'm scared.
You okay? You happy?
Josh, just relax. We're gonna let you make your pick first on our first 3-pick entry, but before that, I just want to let everyone know if this looks like fun to you, if you want to try out Prize Picks yourself, you can use our code FYF whenever signing up as your invite code, and you will get a 100% deposit match up to $100 in promo funds. So deposit 100, get 100 to play with extra. It's a pretty good deal.
That's a great deal.
And you don't have to deposit 100. If you deposit 20, you'll get a $20 deposit match. It's just whatever you deposit up to $100, Prize Picks will match it for you.
Yep.
Do it.
Sports show.
Okay, Josh. I'm excited to hear what your first pick is, because how we're doing it is we're going to each select one for each entry. We're going to do 2 3-pick entries tonight. So,
what up, Swamp Nola? What's up?
What's up,
I'm sorry, I'm cut you off, Simon. I don't care. Swamp Nola is more important.
You're right.
He's right.
But what were you saying, Simon? Something.
I'm saying, explaining to people how we're going to do this and how we've been doing it is each of us is going to select one player for an entry. We'll do a 3-pick power play entry. And we're going to do 2 of those. So we're each going to be selecting 2 players, but 1 for each entry. We'll keep track of how all of us have been doing on these picks. I'll give an update after this weekend's games. How about that? Because right now the chart's looking a little pathetic. So I'm going to give us an opportunity to earn some points back, and I'll give our record on Monday. How about that?
Yeah, that sounds like a good plan when our record's
How about that? So you're up, Josh. What's your first pick?
So, yeah, we're each picking our own over-under here, and you know what I'm going to go with? I'm going to go with Kyler Murray, actually.
Which way are you going on this?
I'm going to take the over. That is a...
Oh!
It's not easy, guys. It's not easy, to be honest with you. That 28-point over-under is legit. I mean, that's a high over-under. But I am so super confident, especially in Kyler Murray's ability to score fantasy points in this matchup, given his rushing floor, his ability to pass it. He's got DeAndre Hopkins. He's got everything you need in an offense. I'm excited for this game. Kyler's going to score over 28 points.
Yeah, let's
Dang.
see. He's done that in each of his last 4 games.
What's the score
28.9.
again?
Here, I'll pull up the scoring chart so everyone can take a look at that, take a peek. So 1 point for every 25 passing yards, pretty standard. 4-point passing touchdown. Rushing yards is 1 for every 10. And this is fractional scoring. So it's not like you have to get 10 to get 1. If you get 9, you get 0.9. Rushing TDs are 6. Receiving yards, same as rushing. And then it is PPR with -1 for interceptions and -1 for fumbles lost.
Yep,
So fairly standard PPR, 4-point per passing touchdown scoring. Let's see. So Kyler Murray, starting with the last time they played Seattle, they played Dallas in week 6. He had 28.92 points. Played Seattle in week 7, 36.1. Then they had a bye. Played Miami in week 9, 36.92, and played Buffalo in week 10 and got 30.9. And you know what? His lowest scoring game on the season is 22.12 points against Carolina. That is the lowest scoring game. He's got another one over 28, Washington in week 2, 33.14. And then he's got 2 games with exactly 27.3. So right near that line as well. As scary as a 28-point line is, Josh, I think you're right. I think if you had to pick a side on this, you have to pick the over.
Yeah.
Like, what are you going to do?
I
Say
love
that
Kyler.
This guy who's been on fire this year, even more on fire the last 5 weeks, is going against the worst passing defense in the league, and you're going to say he's going to go under? Like, I understand that's probably the safe bet, but it doesn't seem right. It doesn't feel right. I love that bet.
I'm feeling confident. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. Let's go.
Okay. John Luke?
What about week 3 against the Lions? How do you remember that?
One...
You're looking it up, Swamp Nola? But sorry. But yeah.
Week 3 against the Lions, he had 24.7. Oh man, that was pretty good. You called out the one game. The one score I didn't mention out of all of his games. Week 3 against the Lions, 24.7.
It was under 28.
It was under 28. So he's had 4 weeks under 28 points. That's wild.
And I'm sorry, real fast, I want to chime in. During this last 4 weeks when he's been really doing outstanding, Christian Kirk has really started to turn it on as well. So, I'm not saying we're going to pick him. Sorry.
I'm just kidding.
So, it's just another reason to have faith in Kyler.
Yeah, I agree. John Luke, where are you going with this?
You guys, I don't like this.
No, you like it. I want to hear that confidence.
I don't want to do it.
Yes, you do.
I'm going to go under on the beautiful, the magical DeAndre Hopkins.
Oh. No,
is it he said this. Oh, and then Swamp Nola says this week he's going against someone who has Kyler Murray. So we got his attention. Yeah.
Sorry, Swamp Nola. Listen, you don't need Kyler to win. I mean, you don't need Kyler to have a bad game to win that matchup. You make the right decisions, you make the right starts, you're going to win.
Okay, and JL, you are the biggest DeAndre Hopkins fan I know. So I just want to hear you elaborate on this a little bit more. Is it just the line? Is it just the 22-point line?
It's a really high line.
It is a high line.
I think DeAndre Hopkins could go off in this game, and in which case I will be very wrong, and I will come back and eat crow or whatever the saying is.
Crow.
That was really weird, Josh.
I've never said that before.
But I have a feeling that DeAndre Hopkins is going to have a good game, but not an outstanding game. I think Kyler is going to run a lot this game. I think Christian Kirk is going to get some work this game. Coming off that big week last week, I'm not going to expect another massive game, and so it hurts. But
he's
I'm gonna take the under.
That makes sense.
The beautiful thing about this is Kyler Murray, even if DeAndre Hopkins doesn't get that over, I am so super confident that Kyler Murray can still score over 28 points. So it's all good. I thought about DeAndre Hopkins there, and 22 points is a lot.
He's gone over that in PPR scoring 5 times. Last time they played Seattle, he got 23.3. But what's scary about this what's scary about this line, and JL, I think I agree with you, is he could catch 2 touchdowns and still not hit the line, depending on his yardage. Know what I mean? Like, that is very, very high line. Now, that's not the kind of player DeAndre Hopkins typically is. He's usually a pretty high yardage, high reception kind of player. But As much as it hurts, I think I agree with you.
I'm gonna regret this as soon. It's gonna be like
Oh, wait.
drive,
Except,
gets a touchdown.
Except we have a problem here.
I don't want to root against DeAndre
I see
Hopkins.
what it is. I see what it is.
JL, we have a problem here. I'm going to see if you can see it. Josh has found it.
What is it?
We have. Yeah.
You cannot pick DeAndre Hopkins because Josh picked Kyler Murray.
Duh.
So what was your pick for this one, Simon? Going to be? I'm just wondering.
I was going to go DK Metcalf over.
Okay. Yeah. Gotcha.
All right, I'll pick someone else. You know what? I don't want to root against DeAndre Hopkins.
There we go. That's what I'm talking about.
Someone else. You guys convinced me. I'm too scared.
It was Swamp Nola. He said he's about to get 22.1 now, JL.
I know.
You're a funny dude.
All right, Swamp Nola. You're so right.
You're funny. Yeah, you're pretty funny, dude.
All right, Simon, you do your pick. I'll pick another pick. Whew.
All right, fair enough. You got
a
it.
whole lot better, guys.
Okay.
I feel better for you.
Oh God.
Here's my pick. DK Metcalf is a monster. We know that.
Mhm.
The Arizona defense is not great, and this is expected to be a shootout, and Tyler Lockett's a little banged up. He's questionable, but it's looking like he's going to play, but even if he's not 100%, I'm still assuming that's going to benefit DK Metcalf. I'm taking DK Metcalf over 17.4 in this game. I know that's also a high line for a receiver, but I think this is a blow-up game for him. I'm excited about that.
Yeah, I like that pick personally. I mean, the only thing that worries me at all about it is Patrick Peterson, but I still would take the over. I would. Because of everything you said, Simon. You're so smart.
Thank you so much.
You're so smart.
Okay, John Lucatha.
John Lucas.
Oh.
I'm going to go David Moore under.
Okay.
I'm going to go David Moore under. All of his games over 9 have been touchdowns. And so I'm just going to take a bet here and say he doesn't get a touchdown this week.
Okay. You know what? I think that's a fair argument. It's always probably safer to bet on not a touchdown for a guy like David Moore, even though he's capable of grabbing one any given week.
Yeah.
Okay. So we happy with this? We've got Kyler Murray over 28. Hooey. DK Metcalf over 17.4 and David Moore under 9. That's kind of funny that the two high lines.
You are inside of my own head. 100%. Always in my gut, I know DeAndre Hopkins is going to outperform.
Yeah. Always. You know what? This offseason, everyone was giving up on Hopkins because, you know what, JL, I'm going to give you the two receivers that switch teams are probably your two favorite receivers in the NFL, the two big name receivers. Stephon Diggs and DeAndre Hopkins. And you did not give up on them. And they're freaking killing it on their new teams. You didn't buy into the switching teams narrative. You looked at the situation and you looked into your heart. And you stayed bought into your two favorite guys, and it worked.
Yep. Thank you.
Congratulations. Okay, we are submitting this entry. That is done. Before our next one that we're putting together, let's answer Apple MVP's question that it came in here with. Start one. Cup, Parker, Ahmed, Hyde, if Carson is inactive.
Cup.
There you have it. Even though it's non-PPR, I'm still starting Cup.
Yeah, PPR helps Cup a lot, but Cup's a touchdown guy too. You know, throughout his entire career, he scored a ton of touchdowns. So I would be going with myself.
That's where I'm going. Okay, our next entry, JL. I'll let you go first on this one since you got screwed out of your pick on the last one.
Real fast. I just read that Chris Carson is not expected to play tonight, so you know Hyde's an option. I would still go Cup. Sorry.
Yeah, I agree.
Didn't want to interrupt you, but
yeah. 100% agree. All right, I'm going Russell Wilson over.
Ooh, man, we're doing double quarterbacks.
That's what I like to see. That's what we're expecting, right?
Yep.
Just the game, for all the reasons that we talked about in the last one for Kyler. John Luke.
What'd you say?
The reasons for Russell Wilson over, all the reasons we talked about for Kyler in the last one.
Yeah, same exact reasons. I think this is going to be a good game. Russell Wilson's been balling out, except for last week. Don't count last week.
Yep. Who cares about last week?
Nah, it's 1 week. Get out of here.
When he played Arizona last time, he scored well over 26 points. You know, I'm with you. I think it's going to be an over as well.
Okay. Sean asks, standard league, pick one for flex, Hines, Chark, Crowder. John Luke, what do you think about this one?
Oh, God. I don't know. I kind of want to play Hines, but Hines has been like my Achilles heel this season. I have just not. I spent a bunch of fab early on in the season, and then that didn't work out, and so I ended up being forced to drop him in some leagues thanks to some illustrious co-managers who I won't name. And of course, now he is still on the waiver wire. I don't think anymore after this week, but I think I'm going to go Shark here. I think I'm going to
absolutely Shark in my mind.
Yeah.
By the way,
I was going to say, as much as I'm tempted by Hines, I think I'm going Shark as well. Especially since especially a sense. Yeah, that Pittsburgh run D is terrifying. So I think they're gonna have to pass if they want any chance in this game. So I'm going Shark.
It's a standard league too. So I mean, Hines, yeah, while he did get some carries last week, I think around like
his values in the passing game.
His values in the passing game. And Shark can have one catch for a long touchdown and make you win.
Yeah. Yep. You just don't know how Indianapolis is going to be using their running backs at this point. It's a toss up. So
if I had to guess, I would still say Jonathan Taylor is going to get the most carries on that team. But I'm not saying start him. I'm just saying he'll get the most carries in my mind.
Yeah, it just hurts my feelings. Okay, Josh, what do you think? What's your
next
pick?
Right.
You're up.
Okay,
so you cannot pick a Seattle pass catcher, but besides that, you're good to go.
So looking through these, one person stood out to me, and that person was Kenyon Drake. Now listen, guys, listen, everyone. I want you to listen up. I understand. You're probably thinking, "Oh, come on, isn't Chase Edmonds the starting running back there now?" No, he isn't. Drake came back last week after being injured for a couple of weeks and received 16 carries for 100 yards. I think he got like one catch. He's not very involved in the passing game, but Chase Edmonds only got 8 carries. Drake actually got hurt the last time they met with Seattle. So you can't really look at his stats back to that game. I think that they want to get the running game involved. I think that there's going to be so many scoring opportunities for both sides. I do believe that Drake falls into the end zone, and if he does, he will score more than 11.5 points. I will take the over here.
So you think it'll be Drake that falls into the end zone as opposed to Edmonds? You're not scared of Edmonds vulturing that touchdown away?
I'm not.
Okay. So, yeah, it looks like ISO only has a question related to your pick right here. What's good, fellas? You like Kenyon tonight as an RB2? Josh, I'll let you go first because you kind of just answered it.
Yeah, an RB2, definitely at least a flex. I like him as an RB2.
Would you start him or Ronald Jones? Because that's the position that this guy's facing.
I would start Kenyon Drake. But that's a close one. That's a good question.
I think I'd start Ronald Jones, but it's real close. The benefit of starting Kenyon is that you would know what you've got on Thursday night. And if you have other tough start-sit decisions, I know that's a stupid tiebreaker, but sometimes it helps me make the decision. But I think I'm going Rojo. What about you, John Luke?
Yeah, I think I would go Rojo as well, but it definitely is close. They're like back-to-back in my rankings. So I think it's gonna be a close one, but I would probably lean towards Ronald Jones here.
Sean and ISO only, both of the same thought in here. If anyone's going to steal those goal line touchdowns, it's going to be Kyler, not Chase Edmonds. You guys are right. Yeah, for sure. So there's 2 threats, but
so Swam Noah said Christian Kirk going to be over 14.4. I actually did want to pick him for the last entry. And then I remembered that he is on DeAndre Hopkins' team, and so I also pick Kyler, but I also think he'll be over 14.
Can you guys, all 3 of you guys now jumping on what I was going to do next.
Is that what
we've got Swamp? That's 100% where I was going to go with this.
That's awesome.
Oopsie.
Christian Kirk, 3 of his last 4 games, he's not only over 14.4, he's been over 20 points. He's getting these touchdowns. He's got 2 touchdowns in 2 of his last 4 games, and 1 touchdown in 3 of his last 4. I think he gets in the end zone in this high scoring game. I'm saying Christian Kirk over 14.4.
Let's go.
Okay, so we all have it. Russell Wilson over 26, Kenyon Drake over 11.5, and Christian Kirk over 14.4. We are slamming the overs for this game. High lines, we're taking the overs.
Risky decision.
Yeah, see, this is the thing. One problem, I'm gonna be honest with all of you real fast. I probably have trouble picking unders just in general. I am more of an optimistic thinker. So it's like hard for me to be like, that guy's gonna do bad because I don't want to root for that, you know? So I
think that is exactly what they want you to think.
I know it is.
That's like non-optimal strategy.
I know it is. It is.
I know that the under is probably the better strategy for some of these, but I just feel it in my bones. You know what I mean? I can't.
Our bones have not been too accurate as of
no, but we got over bones tonight, so we'll see. We'll see how that goes. I'm going to place it
over bones, big bones,
big bones.
Okay,
you're big boned.
We are we are over boned. Our two open entries, just as review: Kyler Murray over 28, DK Metcalf over 17.4. And David Moore, the lone under 9. Then in our second, we've got Russell Wilson over 26, Kenyon Drake over 11.5, and Christian Kirk over 11.4. So each of these entries has the opposite team starting QB with 2 offensive weapons for the other team. We'll see how this plays out. I'm excited. We'll give you guys a review of how this happens tomorrow. Update you. Hopefully our little bit of a cold streak ends here.
It's over. We got this.
It's over.
Look, I'm already right on that second one. David Moore under.
Yep.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, JL, you remember how well that worked for me last week when I made the same joke with DeAndre Swift under, and then he scored like 30 freaking points.
So good last week.
It was like under 11.5, and DeAndre Swift comes out with like 29.7 points or something like that. He looked incredible.
Yes, we are Swamp Nola. I want to see that tweet, ISO. I do. I want. It's hilarious, actually. He said he wants Kyler to stop stealing Kenyon Drake's goal line carries.
Maybe
we are all in this together.
Yes, we are.
Let's go.
We'll do a sing along. We'll do a sing along tomorrow, depending on how it goes. A happy song if we nailed it. A sad song if we didn't.
Yeah,
but there's a sing along no matter what. Yeah, the sad song is just us scream crying. Okay, now that we placed our entries, we are playing today. We are playing a round of poll perception. It's been a minute, at least since last week.
At least
this is our OG game, the one that we started playing first. For those of you who haven't played, and for Josh, who always forgets the rules, I'll explain it to you. How this is going to work is I found some trade polls or start sit polls online, Twitter, Reddit, Poll Sports, different places. Yeah. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to propose a poll to Josh. And I'm going to say, hey, Josh, what percentage of people chose, say, Saquon Barkley over DeAndre Hopkins in a dynasty league?
Probably like 30%.
Okay, so Josh will give me an answer, 30%. I'll then ask JL, is the real percentage of people who chose Saquon over or under 30%?
Over, obviously.
JL will say over. I'll then reveal the actual percentage, which was 140%. The closer Josh is to the actual percentage, the more points he'll get. JL can get points too for correctly guessing the over-under. We'll do 4 rounds like that, and then in the 5th round, they are both going to guess the exact percentage from the poll, and whoever's closer will score. And then we will tally up the points and declare a winner. And the other person's a stinker. I get to decide what you are because this game doesn't name the loser like Horse. Horse names the loser. I get to name you this time. Sean says, I'm nervous about Tyler Lockett. Pete Curl said he thinks he's going to play, but knee injury, limited all week. I'm super nervous about him. I have Devontae Parker as a pivot.
Does Sean sound like that? I don't know, man.
No, that was I accidentally said Pete Curl, so I just did the rest of it in that voice.
God, that makes more sense.
I don't know what Sean sounds like. Probably a lot cooler than that.
He definitely sounds cooler than that. He said he used to party in Towson a little bit, so he's got to be cool.
Got to be cool. You can't party in Towson and not be cool. You get beat up.
So
it's a good question, actually.
Are you starting Tyler Lockett or Devontae Parker? I'll go first because I know my answer. I'm starting Tyler Lockett.
Yeah.
I'll take the questions around Tyler Lockett's injury status in this great matchup over the questions around Devontae Parker and the Tua situation in Miami. I'm not trusting Tua with any of his receiving options. I'm going to roll out Tyler Lockett. Yeah, I'm a little nervous, but you know what? You're a little nervous rolling out Tyler Lockett every week anyways. It's not like you're not nervous starting him. He can go off for 40 or he can give you 5. You never know. Yeah. So
that's awesome.
Sean, I'm not going to put that one on the live stream, but I get that sometimes too.
Why not?
Yeah, Just what if his boss is watching?
That's true.
Okay, Josh Dale, any different opinions? Or either of you starting Parker over Lockett?
Same opinion.
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, if Lockett is playing, though, especially against this Cardinals team, this matchup, you have to have him in your lineup. He scored 53 points last time they played.
That's ridiculous.
That's so stupid.
I don't know what to tell you, Sean, but you have to put him in your lineup.
There should be like a limit. Like you can't score that many.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Well, then we'll put it on the screen. Maybe you'll get promoted. There you go.
Yeah. That's so cool.
That's awesome, man. Okay. Are you guys ready for round one of poll perception? What'd you say?
Yeah. I said send some stuff our way.
Yeah.
yeah, definitely.
My boss isn't watching.
Who knows if mine is?
Your boss is on the stream.
I'm not sure who my boss is, to be honest with you.
It's me.
And your other boss can't fire you without approval from you. So,
Yeah.
so you're good to go.
Yes.
Jalen and I can only get fired with 100% approval between the two of us.
So,
but that includes us. So we're on fire.
But if it happens, it's gonna be wild.
Yeah, it'll be really cool. We'll have to really screw up for me to go, yep, you know what? I deserve it.
Birthday boy Tim.
Happy birthday!
Ooh. Oh, it's your birthday, Tim?
It's Tim's birthday today.
Happy
It's also
freaking
cold and rainy
birthday,
in
man.
Seattle.
It might goof receivers a tiny bit. It
Good-
might goof
good
them.
call.
It might, yep.
But maybe it won't goof the Seattle receivers as much because they freaking live there. They know about the rain. They probably practice in the rain.
Yeah, Arizona
about
doesn't
the
know
rain.
about the rain too much.
What is this?
What was that, Jail? Can you do that one more time? An
What
impersonation
is
of Arizona Cardinals in the rain. Okay, that was perfect. Okay.
No.
Yeah, we've got one more question. Okay, Swamp Nola says no Chris Carson. So now Duke Johnson, Balaj. Do I now flex Josh
Balaj.
Reynolds? I don't really have any other choice unless I drop him and pick up someone else. Yeah, I would start Josh Reynolds.
I've got no problem putting Josh Reynolds in my lineup this week.
Yeah.
I heard it today, and I didn't believe it, so I had to look at it that over the last 4 weeks, Josh Reynolds has more targets than Robert Woods.
Yep. And I was talking about this a little yesterday.
You were ahead of the curve.
I didn't say that stat though. I did not bring up that stat.
That was from the Footballers podcast. I was a little behind. I was listening to it, the Fantasy Footballers, but
okay.
Yeah, I think Josh Reynolds is more than just startable. He's a great option. So
Yeah.
he's not one of those must start
numbers.
players. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
He's getting targets, deep targets. He could easily have a great fantasy day.
he could also skunk you. Know what I mean? I'm not expecting it, but that's what you're getting with some of these like third wide receivers, even if they're great talents. Like similar to like a Christian Kirk, like we're talking about today. He's a great option, but if he doesn't connect on one of those passes, you're going to get nothing. But I think Josh Reynolds is a great option to plug into your lineup.
Absolutely.
Agreed.
Okay.
I picked him up and I'm flexing him in one of my leagues this week actually as well. So I wish us both luck.
Okay, Josh.
We're in this together.
Corona side up or open side? Just say Corona or not.
Corona. Actually, I think it's more likely to land on the open side.
Oh, it was the Corona side.
That was
up.
Corona. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
You
What
go
does that mean?
first. You go first.
Cool.
Cheater.
What do you mean cheater?
All right, let's
cheater?
do this.
You rigged it. That's
Perception,
a weighted
mother
bottle cap.
That's what I'm about.
I do weight on my bottle caps.
Hit us, Grandmaster Coochie.
Grandmaster Coochie, we are always here for you. Just throw your question in here. We'll be glad to help you
I
out.
wonder if it's hard to become a grandmaster.
It's many years of training. Swamp Nola, we stream on YouTube, Twitch, and Periscope. You can find us on any of those. Front Yard Fantasy. Whoo! Yeah, if you, yeah. I'm sorry, Grandmaster Coochie just got me laughing.
They love
so
your
hard.
name, man.
Oh, wow.
I can't ask any more questions.
I'm gonna take a break from
Mr.
that.
Grandmaster.
Claudio Jenkins. Should I trade Mixon for Eckler PPR? I'm a lock for fantasy playoffs. Josh, I'm gonna let you go first as the Mixon lover.
I wouldn't. Like you got to think like their situation. Sure, Eckler was probably playing a little bit better when he was healthy. Sorry, Claudio Jenkins.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No.
Grandmaster
Mixon. I would keep Mixon. I would not trade Mixon for Eckler. Mixon's going to be good when he comes back. He's going to be really good, in my opinion. I'm excited for him to come back.
I agree with you, Josh. This Bengals offense is starting to click a little bit. They even got they're getting it going. It looks like. And whenever Mixon comes back, I trust him a little more. And his injury was a lot less serious than Eckler's.
Exactly.
So I'm real nervous about Eckler coming back. I would keep Mixon. There's a potential there, but I'm keeping Mixon. You agree, JL?
Same. Yep.
Okay. Wow. 1,500 hours in the field. That's quite impressive, Grandmaster. GM Coochie. Okay.
These guys, what am I supposed to do with these guys? Like,
we're trying, Sean. We're trying.
Okay, now you've learned our weakness today. We have a weakness for really silly names.
We're so stupid.
No. Okay, Josh, you are up. You're up. Round 1 of poll perception.
Let's go.
All right,
I'm ready.
So this is a dynasty league. Side A is DeAndre Hopkins plus. That is not the right name that I meant to put in there. What in the world is going on? That is not a football player.
What?
What is
Who the hell did you put in there?
For some reason, I wrote Justin Thomas instead of Jonathan Taylor.
Justin Thomas?
I have no idea. Truly no idea.
A J and a T.
That's what the poll said, JT, and I was like, oh, Justin Thomas. But I meant Jonathan Taylor. Okay. Side A, DeAndre Hopkins plus Jonathan Taylor. Side B, Keenan Allen plus Miles Sanders. What percentage of people chose the DeAndre Hopkins and Jonathan Taylor side?
DeAndre Hopkins and Jonathan Taylor. Keenan Allen and Miles Sanders. Holy crap. Dynasty League. Okay.
296 votes.
Wow. So, okay. So, I've got to take Twitter into account, right? They're very reactionary. Reactionary. And when I say reactionary, I mean, really only one person here is playing like crap, and that's Jonathan Taylor. When I look at this, I kind of slightly prefer the DeAndre Hopkins, Jonathan Taylor side, just slightly. But it's a very, very, very close trade in my mind. And because people have this perception that Jonathan Taylor is already a bust, I think there's some people that might side with the Keenan Allen side, even though I prefer the Jonathan Taylor, DeAndre Hopkins side. And that's just going to make me go flat dab in the middle. I'm going to say 50%.
Okay. Josh says 50%, right in the middle. Grandmaster Cucci will answer that question right after this round. John Luke, do you think the real answer is over or under 50% for the percentage of people that want the Hopkins-Taylor side?
I'm going to go over here. I think
you think more people want DeAndre?
I think more people want DeAndre Hopkins and Jonathan Taylor. I think Jonathan Taylor has a lot of hype still, despite his slow season in Dynasty. And Keenan Allen, we were talking about this a bit yesterday. Keenan Allen, the perception of his age is a lot older than people think. I think, at least in my experience, people have tend to think he's
35 or something.
Yeah, much older than DeAndre Hopkins.
He's 28. I think they're the same age, right?
I think he's a year older.
Gotcha.
Within the year.
Yeah.
So I think DeAndre Hopkins and Jonathan Taylor are gonna be slightly more favored here. I think this year, that second half or the side B is going to be favored here, but Dynasty, I think it switches. So
that's the big thing.
I agree with Josh, but I think it's going to slightly move in the direction of DeAndre Hopkins. So
the Dynasty aspect, yeah.
Yep.
Okay. The final percentage of people that chose the DeAndre Hopkins and Jonathan Taylor. Also, Justin Thomas is a golfer. I think maybe watching the Masters got that stuck in my head.
He is.
I think maybe that's what happened, but took me a second. I was like, where did that name even come from?
You were taking your Masters nap and you were taking
my Masters nap, and Justin Thomas was in my dreams. And
oh god.
Okay, but the percentage of people that chose DeAndre Hopkins and JT, Jonathan Taylor, over Keenan Allen and Miles Sanders.
Come on.
55%. Josh, you were within 5 percentage points.
That was good.
Good guess.
So you get 5 points, and JL, you correctly picked the over/under, so you get 2. I'm not letting Josh run away despite his incredible guess.
Thank you, Simon.
There you go. After
a
one
lot
round,
of there.
that was a really good guess. I thought that was a tough one too.
It was. I think my logic was sound, so that's good.
So Grandmaster Cucci says, I need 2-2-1 in full PPR. I'm guessing he's saying 2 running back, 2 wide receiver, 1 flex. He has Swift, Mike Davis, Gurley, Edmonds, Lindsey, and Drake at RB. And then Evans, Mike Evans, Robbie Anderson, Curtis Samuel, Marvin Jones, and Emmanuel Sanders at wide receiver.
Oh, wow.
So where would you go? Let's go position by position first. Who are your – I'm starting Swift and – it's between Mike Davis and Gurley for me. Even though Mike Davis has had it rough recently, you know what? I'm taking both the running backs from that game. Those are the teams that are playing each other, right? Carolina, Detroit. Yeah. So I'm taking both the running backs from that game. Detroit is the worst run defense in the entire league. I know Mike Davis hasn't been performing recently. So I'm going to go Mike Davis, even though he's been a little underwhelming. And I'm going to go DeAndre Swift. Those are the 2 running backs I'm starting out of this group. What about you guys?
Same here.
Swamp Nola makes a great point about Gurley. That is a tough matchup against that defense, against that Saints D. So those are the 2 running backs I'm going with. You could go Drake, but there's some uncertainty there with Edmonds in the backfield, like we were talking about before. I think he's a fine start, but with guys like Swift and Mike Davis on your roster too, I'm starting those 2. Now, what about at wide receiver? JL?
Let me. I have to go through them. I just finished going through the running backs.
Oh no, you're good. So it's Mike Evans, Robbie Anderson, Curtis Samuel, Marvin Jones, and Emmanuel Sanders. You know, I might surprise some people. Mike Evans for sure is who I'm starting.
Yeah,
but then I think number 2 for me is Marvin Jones with Kenny Golladay out. He's been look at his past 4 weeks, I think, or 3 weeks. He's been. He's been really good, not just kind of good.
Solid. Yeah.
And Kenny Galladay's still out, and
now
this
Matt
past
Stafford
defense
does have a torn something in his thumb, his throwing thumb, and so that could come into play. Does that affect how you view Marvin Jones at all?
No, I don't think so. I think Matt Stafford will still play, and I think he'll be fine. I think he'll play well even with that. I'm still starting. Marvin is still questionable for Sunday. You might have to make a game time decision. I think he plays. I feel like he was questionable last week as well. I don't think he's going to sit out. From what I'm hearing and what I'm reading, I'm not seeing that that Marvin Jones is expected to miss. What about you guys?
For me, I'm definitely starting Mike Evans like you, but I'm definitely going Robbie Anderson, really because of the targets. I know he's not been playing very great the last few weeks, but look at those target numbers. They are fantastic. I know Teddy Bridgewater might not play, but I'm going Robbie Anderson.
PJ Walker is no scrub. Like, not even kidding. I think he's a really good option to come in at quarterback.
Actually, I'm not kidding either. I'm right there with you. I think he is a good quarterback. I really do.
It's fun to watch in the very limited XFL time that we had before COVID shut it down. So I'm not cheering for Teddy to miss time. It would be better. But if he does, I am excited to watch PJ Walker in the NFL. That'll be fun.
I really am.
But I agree with you. Robbie would probably be my flex.
I drafted PJ in a dynasty league in the offseason, and it got me all hyped for him, even though I dropped him. But
JL, what about you?
Right, so Anderson is my lock. I'm locking in Anderson, and then I would have Evans as well. So I'm agreeing with Josh here. I do have Anderson over Evans here.
Okay, so I think we're in agreement on the running back, Swift Davis, and then I'm going 3 wide receivers. I'm putting a wide receiver in my flex. I'm going Mike Evans, Robbie Anderson, Marvin Jones. Are we all in agreement on that, or would one of you guys have a different flex besides Marvin Jones?
I think I'm going Gurley in the flex.
You would go Gurley in the flex, JL?
Yeah.
I think I would go Jones. Yeah, I think I would go Jones.
Fair enough.
Sean Goglin, our breaking news beat reporter for the Carolina Panthers and the Green Bay Packers. Teddy Bridgewater most likely gonna play.
Cool.
Okay.
Cool. Sorry, PJ.
Not as exciting, but
Next
it's probably better for Robbie Anderson.
Yeah.
Actually, I changed my answer. I'm gonna go Todd Gurley.
You're gonna go Todd Gurley?
Yeah. It's not super, like, there's not a huge discrepancy, but I think that I don't know. I tend to favor running backs typically if it's like a flex position, just because I feel like it's a little safer than wide receivers. And with Matty Stafford's thumb, I think I would just prefer having Todd Gurley in the flex there.
This is a pretty cool lineup that you put together too. I'm just
Graham-
looking at it. It's a pretty fun lineup. Like it's a good team, and there's a lot of weird names on it.
Grandmaster Kuji just said, just to preface, this was no buy-in, so I wanted to experiment and go with no superstars. But I do like your team. I no worries there. It depends how many people are in the league, though. So
Yeah.
Okay, you guys ready for round 2?
Ready.
Fabian, throw your question in the chat, and we are happy to answer it. We're going to be answering questions in between rounds. So JL, you are up.
All right. Lay it on me.
This is another Dynasty League. That's all the information we got. Side A is CD Lamb. Side B is Stephon Diggs. What percentage of people would prefer CD Lamb in a Dynasty League?
God. I got to think it's going to be higher than Stephon Diggs. The question is how much higher? I'm going to go with like the first number that came to mind, which was 66%.
66% locked in.
It's not up on the screen.
Oops. Thank you.
And I wasn't paying attention when you said it either. So,
So it's a Dynasty League. Side A is CD Lamb. Side B is Stephon Diggs. What percentage of people chose CD Lamb?
Good poll, actually. In a Dynasty League, that's a great question. Stephon Diggs has been killing it, and CD Lamb is just such a great talent. And once he gets Dak back, you just expect everything. What did JL say? 66%?
66, yep.
Oh my God. Yeah, I think people are going to favor CD Lamb. But man, Stephon Diggs is playing so well. If you were competing for a championship, oh man, I'll take the. I don't feel comfortable with it, but I'll take the under. I'll take the under.
You're gonna take the under.
Was a good guess. It was. I could see more people wanting CD, but just because Stephon's playing so well, it's the reactionary thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Josh is locked in with the under. The percentage of people that would prefer CD Lamb over Stephon Diggs in a Dynasty League is, let me unlock my phone with the picture on it. This number might sound familiar. 55%. It's exactly the same as the last one. JL, you were over by 11, which puts you within 15, so you get 1 point.
Let's
Josh,
go.
you correctly picked the over-under, so you get 2 and extend your lead.
Sean 4%.
Sean nailed it. Sean, you nailed it. So Josh, you move up to 7. JL, you move up to 3.
Would have gotten points.
That was close too.
10%, yeah.
Yeah, everyone would have gotten more points than JL.
It's not hard to do.
Swamp Nola within 10
and
Sean within 5.
It's fine.
You know what, but JL, you scored. You know what? You guys are on a streak. There was that 1 week where no one scored any points on any of the polls, just on the over-unders. And we've been doing a lot better since then. I'm proud of you guys.
Yeah, that week was weird. That was a
We're
weird
really
week.
good at over-unders, that we set. Not that
PrizePicks
exactly. But over-unders that we personally set, we're very good at.
Oh my God.
What we're saying is we're terrible lines makers.
Yeah.
So Fabian wants to know Jimmy Graham and Joe Mixon for Jonnu Smith and Todd Gurley.
Oh my.
Oh, no.
This trade does not make me feel good.
I'm going to say no. I'm going to say I'm keeping the Jimmy Graham and Joe Mixon side because as much as it hurts, I think Jimmy Graham and Jonnu Smith are a lot closer in tier than Joe Mixon and Todd Gurley. Like I would rather have Joe Mixon a lot more than I would rather. I'm sorry, wording it that way is going to be really stinky. What I'm saying is Jimmy Graham and Jonnu Smith are pretty much in the same tier of tight end for me at this point. Joe Mixon is a tier above Todd Gurley for me, so I'm keeping the Joe Mixon side. Yeah.
So look. Fabian. Listen, if you need to win this week, I don't know if Joe Mixon's playing. And if you're really struggling to get that into the playoffs, you might need to make a trade like this. If you're more locked up for the playoffs and you don't need to win this week, I'd rather have Joe Mixon. His upside is so much higher than Todd Gurley's. And like Simon said, Jimmy Graham and Jonnu Smith, I'd rather have Jonnu, but they're close.
That's
a
great point, Josh.
I have to.
Yeah.
He's got Swift and Rojo. That's what he says.
I'm keeping Mixon.
So yeah, you can get by this week with running backs.
Yeah. That's a tough one. That one just The thing that makes it so gross for me is that it hurts that Jonnu Smith is valued, that I value him as low as I do rest of season. I was excited for him, so that's what makes this gross. I think it's a totally reasonable thing to be considering. Like looking at this trade, I'm like, yeah, I totally see why you would consider making this move. But I'm keeping the Jimmy Graham and Joe Mixon side.
Me too.
Same.
Sometimes these are the trades that'll these decisions are the ones you got to make, the not fun trades, the ones where you're just looking at and you're like, oh God, do I do this? But man, yeah, that's a tough one. Thanks for bringing that one. That's a fun one. I wish I had a poll like that one.
You guys have been
coming with fire trade offers this week. I feel like all week we've just been getting like some really tough trade questions.
Look at this.
The devil. Nick Chubb and Will Fuller for AJ Brown, Thielen, and McKissick, a good trade.
I would love to see your team.
Woo! Let's look at it in a vacuum. Oh my gosh, that's a tough one. That's a really, really tough one. If you, oh wow,
yeah, this is one's making my brain hurt. Good job, Lee. Good job, Lee. Because this is a trade and a half right here.
I like your profile picture too.
Man, if I had some context, like your team and PPR standard, that would make it a little bit easier. But just if I'm going into a season, my team's 0-0, who would I rather have between these groups of players, for the rest of the season? So Thielen, I'm a little down on. JD McKissick, I like what he's doing right now, especially in a PPR. He's going to continue to get catches, but I don't think it's I don't think he's going to be consistent the whole year. I love AJ Brown. AJ Brown and Nick Chubb are my favorite parts of this trade. Will Fuller's been playing great. I think I'm going to lean the Nick Chubb and Will Fuller side of this trade, actually, because McKissick just does not replace the running back well enough for me to get excited.
Ooh, we got an update here. PPR league, he has Kamara, James Robinson, Holiday, and AJ Brown.
So he's on that side of it.
Oh, you're trading Thielen. Okay.
Yeah, it's the other way. So he'd be trading for Nick Chubb and Will Fuller.
Yeah.
So what does this team look like after this?
AJ
Brown, Thielen.
You hurt your wide receivers a lot doing this trade.
So his wide receivers would be Fuller, Galladay. That's it, right?
Do you only start two? Do you have any other wide receivers?
Yeah, I'm curious what's sleeper alert. DeAndre Swift did not practice today because of a concussion. He is now doubtful for Sunday.
No! Can we change our prize picks? No, actually, that was last week.
That was
that was the first thing that came to mind. I was like,
you know what? We should ask.
We got to change
last week.
Can we change last week right now?
I can tell you, no, you can't. And people do ask.
So DeAndre Swift did not practice today because of a concussion. He's now doubtful for Sunday. Yikes.
No.
Yikes. He has Myers, Terry, and Terry McLaurin?
Okay.
Wait, Lee, you have Terry McLaurin.
Jacoby Myers, Terry, and Jerry Jeudy. I'm making this trade. Give me the studs. Yes. I think Will Fuller's in the stud category now as well with AJ Brown. While I like AJ Brown a little bit more, I'm putting Will Fuller in the stud category. Give me Nick Chubb and Will Fuller. Your bench wide receivers are all the way down to Jacoby Myers are totally fine. Like Terry McLaurin is great. Jerry Jeudy is good. And Jacoby Myers is fine if you got to start him. Your wide receivers will be fine trading away those two guys. And you get to start Kamara, James Robinson, and Nick Chubb in your fantasy playoff.
That would be nice.
Yeah, if you can make that trade, I would do it. I would do it. Swamp Nola says, ooh, well, AP? Oh.
If you're desperate, I mean, he's probably going to get the most carries, but there's also Kerryon Johnson, who's probably going to be more of the third down back. I bet AP gets more carries and Kerryon gets more catches. So take that for what it is. I am not excited starting either of them.
No.
I'd start them in a pinch if you gotta.
In a pinch.
And if I had to put my money on one, I'd put it on Kerryon. But again, I wouldn't put a lot of money on it. I would put. I'd bet you 50 cents on Carry On.
In a standard league, I would go AP.
I'd do a shot glass water bet on Carry On.
I would do that. I would do a normal shot glass.
just a real mini water bet. Oh man.
Related to earlier news, Rappaport is reporting that Teddy Bridgewater is likely out. So maybe it is PJ's week.
Wait, what?
Man, we are going on an emotional roller coaster. Like snap. I hope no one tuned out and missed that. Okay.
We're only
Make
one
that 50 cent bet. That would be hilarious.
Okay, you guys ready for round 3?
Yeah, let's get in there.
Thank you, Lee. Appreciate you. Keep bringing in the questions.
Oh, that was a fire trade, Lee. That was an awesome one for us to discuss.
That was cool.
I love ones like that really make me think.
Yeah.
Josh, you are up round 3.
Let's go.
This is a Josh special. I'm glad you went first. This one, I was hoping you would get this one.
Hit me.
Your favorite format and one of your favorite players. So this
Superflex.
This is a Dynasty PPR Superflex League. Side A.
Marcus Brown.
No, side A is Tyler. Side A is Tyler Boyd.
Uh-huh.
I know you love some Tyler Boyd. Side B is Todd Gurley and Mitch Trubisky. What percentage of people chose Tyler Boyd in this trade?
So it's PPR Superflex.
127 votes. So a kind of small sampling size on Twitter.
Sampling size.
So if you don't you read this out, and I was like, why is Mitch Trubisky even in there? But in a Dynasty Superflex, he belongs on teams, no doubt. And especially
what in the world.
Especially Nick Foles, I don't believe is playing, and he could miss some time. So the side B, Mitch Trubisky has a lot of value here.
Is his shoulder getting better?
That's a good point. Regardless, he doesn't do a lot for me. Todd Gurley, he's an aging running back in Dynasty. I don't even know how relevant he's going to be next year. I think he's on a 1-year contract with the Falcons, and he's going to blah, blah, blah. Tyler Boyd is going to have value next year, the year after that, I would assume. As long as he's with Joe Burrow, he's going to be really good in PPR. I think more people should have chose Tyler Boyd in this trade. I will say 69% of people chose Tyler Boyd.
Oh, I was muted. Nice is what I said.
Nice.
Josh guesses 69%. JL, do you think the actual percentage is higher or lower than 69%?
Real fast, I do want to say, if you're competing for a championship and you need a running back, maybe this is a trade that makes sense, but I digress.
Yeah, the context of the tweet was just in a vacuum. Yeah.
I feel like every single time we get a trade like this, and where it just seems like it's obviously like lopsided, Simon's going to be like 4%. I want to go over.
Tyler Boyd.
I want to go over. I wrote down 82% when you asked the question.
Wow.
So I'm just going to stick. I'm going to stick with over. I'm probably going to be wrong, but
okay.
I like that confidence.
I'm going over.
Jay, I'll guess the over. Sorry, I had to do some math real quick. I did it in my head, so you guys can check me if you want. But the final percentage of people that chose Tyler Boyd over Todd Gurley and Mitch Trubisky in a Dynasty PPR Super Flex League is 90%.
Oh, yes!
You were 21 percentage points away, so you get no points. JL, you correctly picked the over-under. So you get 2 more points and close the gap a little bit. The score is now 7-5.
Okay, fair enough. Hey,
Spagnuolo was with you, Josh.
Hey, because that's the right guess, No, that makes sense.
Where's Grandmaster Coochie when you need him? Yeah, that was his question. Okay.
When I was talking about, I was saying Tyler Boyd is he's the right side. He's definitely the better option there, but I figured Gurley's name would definitely make him be picked a little bit more.
Okay, we got one more round for JL and then our final round. But before we do that, we have a question from Jake. 1079, 1079, 1079,
October
however you want to say
79.
it. Or October 79th. Or maybe it's the year 1079.
1079.
Dynasty
Big
League,
year.
half PPR. You can start up to 3 running backs or 4 wide receivers. So I'm guessing it's a 2 running back, 3 wide receiver league with 1 flex. That's what I'm getting from that.
Yeah.
Running backs are Chubb,
Chubb,
Hunt,
Hunt.
Kelly, Carry-On. Yeah, you're starting Chubb and Hunt without a doubt.
Yeah.
Wide receivers are Tyreek, Julio, Juju, Higgins, Rager, AB, and Brian Edwards. Holy
so
moly, look at that.
Chubb-
You're starting
Hunt,
4 wide
Tyreek,
receivers.
Julio,
It's an easy one for me. Yeah.
Higgins.
Higgins.
Yeah. It's the first 2 running backs and the first 4 wide receivers you mentioned.
Yeah,
Well,
I
AB
agree
you
with
could
that.
consider, but
No, I'm going Tyreek, Julio, Juju, Higgins, and Chubb and Hunt.
Same.
That's where I'm going.
Yeah,
I guess you
absolutely.
can consider Carry-On, but I'm not starting Carry-On over Juju. Yeah, I think it's pretty clear cut.
So you're starting Higgins over Juju, huh?
I would start Higgins over Juju. Yeah, at this
Nothing wrong
point,
with that.
yeah, at this point, I'm starting Higgins over Juju. Higgins is almost a must start for me. I'm starting Higgins over Tyler Boyd in 2 leagues this week. Tyler Boyd's on my bench.
Wow.
Would you start Tyler Boyd over Higgins?
Is it a full point PPR?
It's full point PPR.
I'd start Tyler Boyd.
Well, this is
Okay.
half PPR. This question.
Oh, I'm talking about this is half PPR.
His question, yeah.
Yeah. So, and then let's see. He says, am I losing trading Rager for Melvin Gordon? No, especially not with your
It's a
receivers.
dynasty league. It's a dynasty league.
Yes.
Dynasty League. Oh, then absolutely 1000%.
Yeah.
Sorry. If this was redraft, then
Redraft. Yeah.
I would make this trade with your team in redraft because your running back depth is scary. And I don't love Gordon, but in a dynasty league, I don't know if Gordon has any value even next year. And Rager's super talented.
I'm with you, Simon.
I'm not doing that. You agree, Joel?
I agree.
Joel?
John Lucathy. What was it? What did you call me earlier?
Something like that.
It was like Luthina. It was definitely a girly.
Can I call you Jimothy? I've been finishing The Office. Apparently, I thought I'd seen all of it 3 times. Turns out every single time I watched it, I stopped immediately after Michael left. And so I was talking to my girlfriend about something, and I was like, man, I can't believe this never happened. And she was like, wait, what are you talking about? I'm not going to give spoilers, but everyone's seen The Office all the way through. But
don't spoil The Office. I'm just watching it right now.
I'm finally on season 9. I'd never seen it before, and I've seen the other 8 seasons probably 3 times a piece. But we're on episode 22 of 23. We're gonna finish it today.
Enjoy.
Jimothy made me think of it. Let's move on to round 4. JL, are you ready for
Speed
your
round.
turn?
Let's do this.
Yeah, we got to speed through these. Okay, round 4. Dynasty. That's all the context we're given. Side A, Terry McLaurin. Side B, Aaron Jones. What percentage of people would like Terry McLaurin over Aaron Jones?
This is JL's, right?
This is JL's.
I'm gonna go 46%.
46%.
No, 44%.
44% would prefer Terry McLaurin over Aaron Jones. Josh?
Wow. Just wow. That's what I got to say.
It's a fun one, isn't it?
Yeah. So going into the year, I actually would have chosen Terry McLaurin, and that might be controversial in itself. I just, with the Packers drafting a running back in the 3rd round, and then Aaron Jones just not getting all the carries and all this stuff, but Aaron Jones has proven now to be an elite running back. So, but Terry McLaurin's young, and he's an elite wide receiver on a very, very, very bad team. I'd rather have Terry McLaurin in a dynasty league. I really would. But would people vote that way? I just don't know. You said 44% chose Terry McLaurin?
Mm-hmm.
God, I don't know.
That's a good line. That means I did my job.
Come on, Josh. What you got?
I'll say
Josh
Antha.
More people chose Terry McLaurin over.
Over. Okay. Josh picks the over. The actual percentage of people that chose Terry McLaurin over Aaron Jones in a dynasty league, 65%. JL, you were also off by 21%. You pulled a Josh. Josh, you correctly picked the over-under. So you get 2 additional points. You extend your lead to 4. It is still anybody's game. JL, you didn't score any points that round. So going into round 5, the score is 9-5.
How many votes on that one?
That one had 222 votes.
See, Swamp Nola was with me.
Swamp Nola was with you.
Ooh, good question. Who's your favorite character from The Office?
You want to go first, JL, or you want me to go?
That is so hard.
Mine's a two-way tie, I think.
Daryl, Kevin, Stanley, Dwight. I mean, what are we talking favorite here? Like
mostly, yeah. Like, do you want to hang out with him, or like just like entertainment? Like, yeah, that's
you know what? Take it however you want. If someone said, "What's your favorite character from The Office?" Hypothetically, just kidding. Someone did say that, and you had to give one character. Who would you say? I'm gonna go Creed. He cracks me up every time he talks.
Is really funny.
I think he's so funny.
Creed's a good answer. I'll go with Kevin.
Kevin's up. Kevin was the one that grew on me. The character that grew on me the most on this watch through was Kelly. Kelly is so underrated. She's so funny. Kelly's hilarious. Oh, for sure, but she's hilarious.
I don't think she's underrated. I think a lot of people like Kelly.
Okay, maybe. I just don't see her
probably Daryl. Probably Daryl. He's
Daryl's
the
my
one I
number
most
2.
want to hang out with.
Cool.
For sure.
Yeah.
Kevin would be like the.
We got some hate in the chat. Daryl's my number 2. Mine is Creed Daryl as a top 2. Daryl.
It's a F Kelly.
Daryl kind of reminds me of Jim, but he's not an asshole. Jim's kind of an asshole. They're both like the only normal people in the office, but Jim's an ass and Daryl's a nice guy.
I feel like Jim is like, it's like the obvious answer. Like him pulling his pranks, he'd be like,
Jim's the obvious answer. Yeah.
Boo. Stanley, Michael, Dwight.
Stanley
Michael.
Stanley is underrated. Talk about Stanley. Michael's your favorite?
No, I mean, no, he's not my favorite. I mean, he's my favorite character on the show. He's just, I don't know.
Not who you'd want to hang out with.
You know who my least favorite character is? And I hate her so much. She makes me angry every time she speaks. Every time.
Nelly?
No, not Nelly.
Phyllis?
Phyllis. God, I hate Phyllis. I hate her so much.
Phyllis is pretty
and I know it's
unlikable.
purposeful. It's the writing, but they wrote her so hateable. And good job.
They did. Yeah.
Okay. You know what? We got to move on. We are on round 5. We got to knock this game out, determine a winner.
Let's get it.
Let's do it. Round 5.
Swamp Nola is 100% right. I'm not going to put his comment up, but like Gabe is the worst for sure.
Yeah.
Gabe is terrible.
I'm ready to write down my percentage. All right.
Okay, but one of my favorite Office moments ever is when Gabe dresses up as Lady Gaga, like with the killer Lady Gaga costume. I hate Gabe, but that moment is in like my top 5 moments.
Literally Lady Gaga.
We were just.
Did we lose you,
Maria
Jay?
and I were just watching the episode where they go to Robert California's house, the one he's trying to sell or whatever. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now.
Hello.
Yep.
Hey.
I think you're lagging a little, but you're good.
All right. And him and Ryan are just trying to like kiss Robert California's ass. And so Gabe is just like, yeah, no, whatever you want, Robert. It's like, I'll stay as late as you want. I'll stay as late as you don't want.
And they're just
He's
dancing.
like the worst
Is that the one where they're like dancing in the room?
Yeah, they just dance all night. And he's
you can
asleep.
go if you want to. Okay. Round 5. Office tangent done. I'm calling it. Round 5. You guys have your pen and paper ready?
Pen.
Yep.
Paper.
Okay.
Let's go.
Dynasty. Half PPR league.
Under Midland.
Side A, Christian McCaffrey. Side B, DK Metcalf. What percentage of people would prefer Christian McCaffrey in a Dynasty half PPR league?
No, don't ask me this. Oh, man. Swamp Nola, by the way, I always have to digress. I'm always digressing myself.
Constantly, Josh always digresses.
I live in a constant state of digress.
I need to. I get to it. Like, if I like something or I'm into something, I just like do this and I just keep talking about it. And I'm like, oh, wait.
Okay. You got 30 seconds to give me your answer. 15. Man, that first 15 seconds was fast.
I don't know what to say.
Simon, give us a movie review.
These
on
are
American
like literally my like number 1 wide receiver and running backs in Dynasty.
Well, that's the question. What did you ask for, JL?
Movie review on American Pie.
American Pie is a documentary film about wealth inequality in the United States and how the pie is getting cut up into bigger pieces for different people, for different Americans, and about the piece of the pie that you can take for yourself. It's a little bit insightful, but it seems a bit pretentious and unresearched. The filmmakers really didn't do a good job getting their point across, and there was way too many shots of actual pie in the film, and way not enough actual statistics. They tried to use pies for every graph that they did to kind of fit the theme, but the cherry pies kept falling apart. You couldn't tell what parts were cut. They were all filled in the pan. Maybe it was supposed to be metaphorical, but they did a horrible job.
A horrible movie.
Yeah, not the best documentary. Not the best documentary.
A whole lot of
and then at the end,
Ken Burns shots of pie.
And then at the very end of the
really
movie, at the end of the movie, someone definitely makes love to the pie, and that's the end of the movie.
As we all do, metaphorically, of course.
Yep.
Very weird documentary.
Really bizarre documentary,
right.
kind of like artsy. So, JL, reveal your answer first. Let's see what you got. What's up, Josh?
Oh no, it doesn't matter.
Okay,
69%.
Grandmaster
you almost
Coochie.
try to do a 4, and you're like, no, I'm gonna close off that 4.
Okay, Josh, what did you write?
Yeah, I got a flat hat.
It's gonna be fun.
69%.
It's gonna be fun.
63%. Okay. Based on 256 votes, the percentage of people that would choose Christian McCaffrey over DK Metcalf in a dynasty league, 71%. JL, you are 2 percentage points off. You get 5 points. You are the winner.
No way.
Well,
I wrote 71 and I crossed it out.
You crossed it out, you stinker. I think your audio is a little delayed, or you'd be celebrating right as I said it.
I don't like you guys.
Woo!
JL, that is 5 additional points, which means you win 10-9 in the last round.
Oh man. Sorry, I started reading NBA Riggs question there. Thank you for coming in, NBA Rigged, and hitting us with trivia.
No way. Time out. Swamp Noah said 71%.
You got it.
Swamp Noah,
He nailed it. He nailed it on the dot. 10 points. Nailing it on the dot.
He got it.
So even if you didn't score in any of the other rounds, you would have tied JL for the win today just with nailing that. Actually, that's incredible. Okay. Before we sign off, I like this way to sign off. NBA Rigged has a piece of trivia for us. We'll each give an answer. Then I'll run through our Twitters and stuff. Trivia. This wide receiver is top 10, but has 3 out of the 10 weeks falling outside of the top 60. Tyreek Hill?
Lockett.
Tyreek Hill. You're right. He's been consistent this year.
Lockett.
I think you're right. That sounds about right.
Who else is in top 10 though?
DeAndre Hopkins, but he's been consistent.
No.
I don't think it's DeAndre Hopkins. I was just saying, I was thinking of other top 10 receivers. So
Keenan Allen.
I'm just like trying to think in my head.
Stephon Diggs, Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill, DeAndre Hopkins, DK Metcalf, Keenan Allen, Allen Robinson, Terry McLaurin, Adam Thielen.
I'm gonna go
Adam Thielen, maybe.
I'll go. I think Tyler Lockett.
Tyler Lockett. Yeah, Tyler Lockett.
No, it's not Keenan Allen. I'm an idiot. Keenan Allen doesn't make any sense.
But I could see Adam Thielen. He's had some bad weeks.
Yeah, I think it's probably Adam Thielen or Tyler Lockett. While we're waiting on the answer from NBA Rigged, you guys, if you liked what you're seeing here, check us out on YouTube. Subscribe, follow. We are Front Yard Fantasy.
Let's go.
Thielen and Lockett. Nice job, Josh. You can find us on Twitch, Front Yard Fantasy as well. Give us a follow over there. We would really appreciate it. And then if you guys want to find us on Twitter, let me take the banner down celebrating JL's victory.
I saw it popped up and I got upset. I was like,
you can find me on Twitter at FYF Simon, John Luke at FYF John Luke, and Josh at FYF Josh. And you can find Front Yard Fantasy on Twitter at Front Yard FYF. We are here every day at 3 p.m. Tomorrow is Fun Friday. Tim and Eric will be with us. It was Tim's birthday today, so we're going to celebrate on stream tomorrow. I don't know what we're doing, but we're gonna do something special for Tim.
All right,
Quiplash?
all right. Let me know. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're gonna play. We're
Love
gonna
to.
play some fantasy quiplash tomorrow. I'm just trying to think of something special for Tim we can do on stream. Maybe none of us will wear shirts. Just
Ooh.
kidding. We'll all wear
Nobody
shirts. I
wants to
promise.
see that.
Yeah, please don't let that scare you away. I promise we'll all have shirts on. We'll be back tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern. We will see you guys then.
Hey, guys, the trade deadlines, they could be hitting this week. Get the trades in. Trading makes fantasy fun. Thank you, NBA Rigged, for giving us the question.
Please have shirts.
Oh, man, we have